हेलो गाइस, वेलकम टू द शो कॉल्ड बिहाइंड द सक्सेस। इस शो में हम बात करने वाले हैं नॉट जस्ट अबाउट सक्सेसफुल स्टोरीज, बल्कि हम बात करेंगे कि जो भी हमारे गेस्ट हमारे साथ मौजूद है वो उन सक्सेसफुल माइलस्टोन तक कैसे पहुंचे, क्या चैलेंजेस रहे, किस माइंडसेट से, किस वैल्यूज से उन लोगों ने उन चैलेंजेस को टैकल किया और उन ऊंचे ऊंचे मुकामों को हासिल किया। तो आज के इस शो में हमारी जो गेस्ट है वो है रतिका। रतिका currently a professional into yoga, and she left her corporate job in order to get into it. Apart from this, she's been also working to create a lot of content and into gardening. So thank you, Ratika, for being with us, and I hope our audience will be able to learn a lot from this conversation.
Thank you, Gaurav, for inviting me for the show. I'm really excited to discuss what we have, in the show for the audience. Let's begin.
Thank you very much. Before we talk about yoga, I would like to understand, your corporate job experiences and what made you, made the switch from corporate experience to yoga.
Like to start with, I think I was when I passed from my graduate college, that is like when I was around my 21, 22, I got the job from on campus placements. So, during that time, it used to be a big thing when other friends of yours in your school, colleges, everyone was struggling for the job. And you already had one, that too, in a well-to-do company, and in Bombay, the company had its headquarters in BKC. So it was a fancy thing during that time. I was also happy. When I told my parents, everyone was so happy, and they all were jumping with joy. But when I got into it, initially I wanted to do that because I was, I did my graduation into finance. Then I was thinking of pursuing MBA, CFA, or something of that sort. When I got into the corporate job, it was good, but I did put my hard work over there. I did do whatever I could, to up my game. But then there was always a factor key your success depends on the company, how is it performing, and on the manager. Like everyone who is working in the corporate will agree with me ki if you are not in good terms with your manager, or with your team head, uh, your success depends a lot on other factors, is what I mean to say. Like I had good terms with my manager, but then when I got into job, demonetization happened, market wasn't doing good. Then again, all these things keep on happening. GST came, again market wasn't doing good, and then COVID happened. So like throughout my years, the market wasn't doing good. Because of that, the company wasn't performing well, and in spite of my hard work, like I wasn't able to get the returns which I was supposed to, which I deserved. So when I joined the company, there was literally, like there was a lot to learn. I got the exposure. I was, right from the beginning in CEO's office, directly working with the top management. I got a lot to learn. But ultimately it comes down to the money factor, and it comes down to, because obviously you are working for that exposure, and everything is on one side, but ultimately everyone wants to grow, everyone wants to settle in their life, you have your dreams, and like you have to progress. So I wasn't able to match my, I wasn't able to satisfy myself to that part. And also I was thinking the kind of hard work I am putting into, I am not getting the returns. So if I do something on my own, and I put in the same hard work in my own thing, maybe I will get better returns. So it was just the investment of my time which I was not satisfied with the returns with. And the second factor being, from child, I have been a very family fond of a person. I love celebrating festivals. I don't like living alone. I always want people around me, during festivals, all the birthdays, parties, and everything. Living in Bombay, while you're all while your full family is in Jaipur, or so it's basically, it was living alone. And sometimes you don't have sufficient vacations, and sometimes the situations are not like you always fly down on every
Right.
occasion, on every, on every cousin's wedding. So you miss all those things. Plus, like, working in a corporate was like you have to work hard for 5 days and you have to wait for the weekend to enjoy. Because on the weekdays, living in Bombay, and there's a lot of traveling if you're not living near to your company. So all those factors come in, and it was like matlab, you get to enjoy the life only for 2 days in the week, which again I was not satisfied with. Like, so like all these factors kind of build on, and I
Hmm.
got really frustrated ki this is not how I want to live my life. Because it's okay if I know ki okay, I have to work only for 3-4 years, and after 3-4 years this thing will reduce, or my office hours will reduce, or there will be something. There was not a fixed thing which I can confirm on today ki okay, Ratika, you only work for 5 years, but after 5 years your office hours are going to reduce. That after 5 years you will be allowed to take holidays as per your own will, you will be allowed to work as per your own will. That thing was not there. Like this, if I would have continued, the same sort of life would have been there till my retirement, be it any corporate. So that's when I decided that I don't want to live my life like this. So that's how it built on. And also because like I dropped the idea of doing MBA, and then I thought of doing CFA because that's what everyone around was doing, and I couldn't clear my level 2. And even when I used to study for CFA, I was like, I wanted to do something else from the start. In school also, I was into prefectorial teams since my standard 8. So I want
Hmm.
to be like there, speaking, talking to people, enjoying stuff, you know, making things happening like I want them to be. That I
Right.
have been doing since my standard 8, and like since a very early age. So I didn't like that factor in corporate where you can't control anything. uh, and yeah, because I couldn't clear my level 2, that was also the reason I gave 2 attempts, and I knew this is not for me. And then I decided to take a bold step and to speak to my parents to drop it, to leave my job, and to do something new altogether. And that's how it kind of began.
Okay. Uh, so, I mean, what I'm more curious to know is that why only yoga? I mean, क्या उस वक्त और thoughts थे कि कुछ और हो सकता है, या there will be multiple things around कि you have to choose from all of them, or you are super clear कि नहीं, I have to get into yoga only, or like anything else?
Yeah, so you are right. I wasn't clear. Like when I thought of switching, I was clear of the fact that ठीक है, I want to switch my job, but I
Hmm.
wasn't clear what I want to do. I started penning down the things which I feel I was interested in. So I like a lot of designing. I like I was into art and craft from my school. I like DIYs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I also I always wanted to do interior designing. So I thought of doing that. But like with interior designing, it was like, yeah, again, like my in my family no one has a business of interior designing, so that if I do the course I can join them, and from there I can begin. But so with interior designing, it was like it was not just falling in the type of family I live with. And again, it was like if I do the 2 years ka course also, after
Hmm.
that I'll have to again start the corporate life. Like I cannot
Right.
just start my own business of interior designing all at once. I'll have to take the experience first, working with someone else, and then I can think of getting started on my own. So again, like interior designing, it was with that. I thought of doing something around plantation gardening. I did research about that, of doing botany and stuff, but again it was 5 years ka course. And after like already putting 6 years, like 3 of graduation, 3 of job, you cannot again ask your parents to study for the next 5 years. So they won't really agree to it. Being in a middle class family, it was not just feasible. So that idea was dropped. The thing left with me was around yoga. So it was all ki what all things I like, because again, I wanted to do finally something which I was passionate about, and which, I don't hold someone else accountable for. Ki, why did you make me do this? I wanted to make myself accountable and wanted to choose on my own ki, what can I do. So yeah, I had interest in yoga since school, and that was also on the list. And with yoga, every point was, getting feasible for me. Yeah, I can start on my own. Like, I started with having online classes. I can teach on my own. I can have my own students, and even the duration of the courses, it completely vary. So if
Yeah.
it starts right from 2 months to 2 years to 3 years, so you can choose any. And like, while like, so like I did my certificate course of 2 months, I started teaching, I started getting students, and then I thought of doing a 9 months course. That's a PG course. So I did my PG diploma again, and now, like, I am teaching currently, and I was teaching while studying for yoga. So that was good, and my parents were satisfied over there. And now, when I kind of like this, and I kind of like studying a lot, I am thinking of doing PhD, which again I can do. I can study while I'm teaching, while I'm working. So both the things are kind of, you know gets feasible for me. So I just check my passion and the feasibility, that according to my surroundings and my time.
But it's actually very good to know, because I believe there are a lot of people out there who are either stuck in the passion aspect, or either stuck in only seeking the stability, or I mean, it could be financial stability, and then people feel that, oh, I'm not enjoying, I'm not being happy at my job, I don't feel satisfied every evening once I'm done from the work, or maybe 11-12 baje tak they are just dragging themselves, and uh,
Correct.
again not being happy. So I think it's a very good approach, and because it's like, that there are 4 or 5 things which excites you, and then you also see the feasibility in terms of कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं, क्या नहीं कर सकते हैं, क्या duration है, what are our own challenges and scenarios. But I'm really happy, I mean, to understand a different point of view on this. So thank you for that. Again, because I believe yoga is something not just India, but then a lot of countries are now talking, and I do have a lot of friends in India and abroad, people who are really passionate about yoga. Bro, I really want to understand this because I feel the changes usually comes either we learn through experiences or we learn through people. So what I really want to know is that yoga, the moment yoga entered to your life, what kind of impact you see in terms of your body, in terms of your energy levels, in terms of how your day passes by. So I'm just curious to know what is the direct or indirect impact yoga creates on you?
Okay, so like, I have been all like, I have since my childhood, I have always been into the things which our grandparents used to follow. So
Mm-hmm.
though, like, people like nowadays, our generation have a different approach towards yoga, Ayurveda and stuff. They think it is gibberish and they don't really understand it. But I always believed in these things. I always believed in our ancient texts, in our ancient, heritage, culture, and all of it. So when you talk about yoga, I was there with my heart, soul, and mind. I was studying it because I do believe in it. And actually, when I came back from Bombay to study, but I couldn't clear, like as I told before. And then I did the course in Jaipur itself from a renowned institution, and I like, you have to go there. It's not you can do it just as say, like, you actually have to go. They have attendance and everything. So by going over there, by listening to all the stories, by actually reading the traditional texts, and when you see what your yogis past then have written, and then you relate it to the modern science. So then you see okay, what those people wrote, is actually correct in today's world also, and modern science has proven it. So if they have written 4 things, modern science is able to prove maybe 2 things. So people may
Hmm.
believe in those 2 things, but I will believe in all those 4, because I think okay, the 2 things which has not been proven yet will be proven some, in some later years. So I
Right.
had my belief in yoga, and when I joined, I was overweight. I had few medical issues, and all of that got cured through yoga. I didn't, so I had migraine, and I used to, pop pills every now and then, maybe, 4, 5 in a month. But now it's hardly came down to 2, 3 in a year. So that's what yoga had impacted me physically, and mentally. You find yourself in a lot of peace, because currently the relations, be it relationships, be it with your parents, be it with your spouse or anything, I feel like, a lot of conflict is there in today's world. And
Hmm.
yoga actually teaches you to how to live with those conflicts. It is just a simple thing ki if you are currently sitting here and the dog is barking outside, and you are getting irritated ki why is that dog barking, I am currently shooting. So what yoga teaches is ki it's not his problem, it's your problem, because
Hmm.
his job is to bark, right? If that's
Right.
disturbing you, you go and sit in some another room. So it is, it
True.
is just same ki if any person is irritating you in your life, that's not his problem, that's your problem. Why are you getting irritated? Maybe he is like that. So either you change yourself. So it's basically you expect change from yourself, and you don't expect from someone else. And that's how it teaches you how to live with conflicts. So I had a lot of these problems which now are not there. So
Hmm.
yeah, like these
It's
impact on.
definitely It's definitely very interesting because you talked about both the aspects. One is the physical body and the health aspect, and also
Right.
the emotions and how you are able to tackle the emotions. So I believe it's actually going to be very meaningful for a lot of people if they start seeing the other way, because I see a lot of people who actually consider it's only physical health aspect and maybe just
Yeah.
meditation aspects, but then I think it's a very different and new perspective to see things differently. Again, so now coming to the other aspect, because I see that you also create a lot of content and you work on the gardening. I'm definitely very surprised to see a lot of sustainable pots, or maybe you have been reusing a lot of plastic bottles and containers. So I would like to know that, I mean, how do you find the balance between yoga and gardening? And also, the space is called Rooted India. I would like to know that how this name also came and what's the purpose and concept behind it.
Okay, so to start with, like, initially I started creating content around gardening. And that was back then when I gave my exam and I was expecting my results, and I knew ki I wouldn't clear it. Though
Hmm.
my parents were expecting, she will clear it, and I was under that pressure. So I was not in the right mental state, and I needed something to do. I had time in my hands, and office, like I was, working at that time. So office work wasn't much in Jaipur. So then I got into gardening, and I started randomly on one day, I just started my page. And then gradually, when I didn't clear my exam, I was like, okay, I will have to do something through which I can earn money. And then I did yoga. I tried of culminating, merging the two, because maintaining. So, like, that's how yoga and gardening happened. And then last year during the lockdown, I saw a lot of sustainable content, though I was into
Hmm.
it, like into this kind of lifestyle since my child, being aware about water, being aware about electricity and all of that, but never
Hmm.
thought of creating content around it. And never
Right.
thought that people will actually get inspired out of it and will do something of this sort. But when I actually consume that kind of content, and I actually got, inspired, I started composting, looking at the videos. I started using menstrual cup by listening to actually, one podcast or one interview of this sort. So I was like, okay, if those things can create such an impact on me, so that I do something at the ground level, obviously things which I do, if I share that with people, it can create the same impact. So with that thing, I merged sustainability also. So I had three pillars: yoga, gardening, and sustainability. I came up with the name Rooted, and then just added one more O in it, which depicts the three pillars I have: yoga, gardening, and sustainability again. So it's Rooted with three O's. I didn't get the name on Instagram only Rooted, so I had to add a word with it, and it was India. Because I also believe, I don't think sustainability is something of today's era. It was back then in our Indian lifestyle, since ages. And now we have termed that kind of living as sustainable living. But we have been living sustainably. Like if you go to our villages, our ancient India, we have been living sustainably. So yeah, that's Rooted India.
That's
And
interesting.
I forgot your first question. Acha, yeah. You asked ki how do I create content and how do I balance the both?
Yeah.
So with yoga, it is ki either I have to study or I have to take or give workshops. So it is, a set number of hours you can put into. So like if you have group batches, so I like you just work for that specified number of hours. You have some time left. So, and because gardening and sustainability is again of my interest, you tend to take out some time here and there. So I just, keep doing it in a fun way. So that is it.
That is nice. I think a lot of our viewers can definitely connect to it and understand. And I would also like to rephrase it in the way that things we really enjoy, we definitely find time. And things which are not
Yes.
exciting to us, we eventually find a lot of excuses. तो मुझे हमेशा से ये लगता है कि जो चीज़ आप नहीं कर पाते हो, वहां पर आपको एक्सप्लेनेशन देने की जरूरत पड़ती है, एक्सक्यूजेस बताने की जरूरत पड़ती है. और जहां पर आप चीजों को लेके बहुत क्लियर हो कि why you want to do that and what and how to get things done, I believe that you just pick up and you just go on finish those things. So I'm definitely I guess a lot of people can actually also understand and learn from you about how effectively they can manage their time, because I believe 24 hours is very sufficient time. It's just that we don't understand कि कब वक्त कहाँ निकल जाता है. So thank you for sharing that. Dusra, since you know that I have a cat, and being a cat parent, I've been actually thinking very differently. Is it a good idea to have a lot of plants, or maybe it can create certain kind of allergies or some kind of medical emergency for my cat? So I would like to know that what is your perspective, or maybe if you can share 2-3 plants which could be cat friendly, and even being specific, pet friendly, and our viewers can, जिनके पास cats या dogs हैं, they can also think from a fresh perspective on that.
Sure. So like if you have a pet, you can for sure do edible gardening. Like you can get into kitchen gardening, and you can grow your own herbs. It does look good, and you can grow them easily. Will be good for your kitchen also, and will also build in some freshness at your home. But like if you really are into ornamental plants, so there are quite a few which you can get which are pet friendly. I am not sure if I do take the names and if they are okay, because I don't know if they're okay for pet. But what you can also do is you can hang plants. Though cats can climb, but just hanging something in the middle of the roof, or towards where
Right.
they don't have any support to climb, you can put hanging planters that will look really good. Or else if you have any separated area, and like where you feel your pets don't go, you can obviously put plants over there. But again, like I think ki money plant, erica palm, these all are good for pets. So like first check, obviously I'm not sure on it, so first check. And yeah, I can share a lot more indoor plants, but not sure if they are good for pets.
Not an issue. Thank you very much. I mean, for
Welcome.
sharing a perspective. Lastly, we move to, I believe that the conversation was a little more meaningful, and I believe that a lot of people can actually gauge. I mean, maybe for me, my idea was just to get into your mind and the space where just to understand what actually made you go through the things you have been doing, and specifically during the time of pandemic, because I believe a lot of people have been actually going the vice versa, and things have been little difficult for them. So keeping that in mind, I have a last question before we move to the next segment. I would like to know, because COVID has been very difficult, and I believe you have been interacting with a lot of people who have been interested into yoga or maybe into gardening or composting, I would say. I would like to know that what has been a challenging situation for you considering the pandemic, and what values actually helped you sustain yourself in terms of your own belief and things you wanted to do.
Actually, when pandemic hit us, and being on the other side of the internet, where you actually provide the content, and with yoga pranayam being very helpful with COVID, there was a lot more work, and you actually didn't get time ki, you can surf the internet and see what's happening. So I completely refrained myself from watching the news, because there was a lot in the friends and in the family only, which you used to hear on daily basis. So that way you get to know how the situation is critical. So it was just being on the other side and not consuming anything related to COVID. And I just focused on so everyone was at home. The good part of it, everyone was at home, and normally you don't see your fathers at your home 24/7. They are really struggling with what to do, and if your mom is working, she's also struggling. But my mom is a housewife, and so nothing, like, she didn't face any issue, but my brother and my father, they were really struggling. So I kind of used their manpower, and in the last lockdown, we actually created, I gave them okay, you cut this bottle, we will plant all of this. So when you have more people and you have an open space, when you have have been thinking to plant more gardens, and you have tin cans, bottles around in your house, just grab all of them, ask them to cut it, make hanging planters out of it. I actually did it, and I was thinking of doing that for quite a lot of months, but I couldn't, because I didn't get time, and it requires a lot of time. But when everyone got together, that work got really easier on me. So we did that, and we have been practicing. In the last lockdown, we did practice together. So we used to work out daily in the morning, we had our meals together. So that was the good part, because if you have your life normal, you don't do all of these things regularly. So I did that, and I had work, so it didn't really affect me much. We just took care what to eat with the diet perspective. We did have kadas on regular basis, and all these ayurvedic teas like giloy and everything, we have them on regular basis. So yeah, that's it. And actually there was a lot of pressure, and because of that, everyone was expecting a lot. Now you should create content much, and people will really consume it. You will have good more reaction, more views. But actually the thing is not like that. People are not really consuming content right now, and even the last time there was a lot of pressure, and because of that I stopped creating, because I was like, what is that? Just don't do all of them, because actually people were actually sending you messages, sending you now you make a video on this, now you make a video on this, it will help people, though you are working. But again, the response wasn't really that good, because people are not in the correct state of mind. So I just go very easy. I take it as a normal day. I don't really force myself okay, what's happening around, and I should really work according to that. I just work how my mind is, asking me to do. So that is the thing.
Thank you very much. I hope our listeners and viewers get the opportunity uh, to not just learn the time management and things about you've been doing, but also people management, which I've been doing well at home. Thank you for being with us, and I believe definitely there's a lot of things people can learn, and we'll definitely share your work profiles in our comment section, so people can definitely go and check it out. Let's move to the last segment, which is called Spotlight. And during the Spotlight, our idea is that we want to share a recommendation because times are difficult, and we want to share a positive recommendation. It could be a book, it could be a movie or documentary you have recently watched, and people can take that as a suggestion, and they can also go and explore. So I'll share my recommendation. This is a book called Start With Why, and it's been written by Simon Sinek, who actually made me think through and understand the importance of why in life. Because a lot of times, I would say 5 years, 6 years down the line, if I see, I had this understanding of finding the purpose, but now I think I understood that we create our own purpose. And as you already mentioned in the starting, that how you actually came to yoga, and also there are a lot of other parameters we reflect on. So this book actually helps you understand the importance of why and how you can figure out your own purpose. Something is very, very interesting read, and I am sure a lot of people can benefit out of it, and I hope people will like it as well. What is your recommendation, Ratika?
I will really take that up and I will read it myself, because I can see that thing on your face when you are talking about it, ki how much it has helped you. When it comes on my part, so I did used to read a lot of books when I was in my college and when I was working. But Abhi, since when I got into yoga, I was, more into the books around your biology, around your spiritual aspects. So I don't have a book per se, but what I would say is the things that I always believed in is so basically, to make it very real, I love watching Mahabharat. And the main thing of Mahabharat, like towards the end, when Krishna ji, gives out those 2 lines of advice, or, Krishna Gyan, or whatever you call it, those lines used to create a lot of impact on, what do you think? So sometimes when you are struggling, like actually I understand when you decide to take this path rather than the path that our society think is ideal, you face a lot of conflicts from your parents, from everyone around you. And when you listen to his advice, or when you even read Bhagavad Gita, like I haven't read, but I have read a few verses where they actually talk about very important points. That is really, really helpful. So maybe there are YouTube videos on the Sar of Gita, or if you can actually watch the Mahabharata, that's a very beautiful story and a very beautiful history of ours, which everyone should know. And there are amazing learnings from the conversation of Arjun and Krishna. So I really take those up and I keep them with me. And whatever things I like, I actually write that down, so that in these times I can actually, whenever I'm feeling low, I go back and I again watch some episodes which I like, I'm really fond of. So I do all of this. And also like if you have already begun on your path, always write small milestones that you achieve. So like before we end, I will just share this last thing. When I rolled out first advertisement of my yoga classes on Facebook everywhere, first call I got was from Uma Path. She is a Gujarati lady and she contacted me that she wants to join the classes. I was like, oh my God, how did she even get to know about the classes? Wow, the things are working. I got first call at night and I still remember that. I wrote that down. Because what happens when you keep on growing, and now like I have enough students in my classes, but whenever I get even quite a bit less, I was expecting like 20 and I got only 5 or 10, I get really sad. But then I read that, I remember that. Remember when you got your first call, and that lady didn't even pay the fees, like she just called to inquire. And she didn't even register it, but the happiness that that call gave me is priceless. So always remember the small milestones whenever you are on your journey. So it's okay, like there are ups and downs, but always remember the good time that you achieved, and just keep on going. The things will improve. So that's it from my side.
Thank you, Ratika, for sharing insights about the things you have been doing, and I would say again the why of things and what got you there. And I'm sure it has been a meaningful conversation for me, for sure. And I believe a lot of viewers will also find a lot of insightful uh, pointers and takeaways through our conversation. So thank you for being with us.
I hope so. They get something to take away from our conversation. And thank you for actually having me. And I really like the concept of of this thing, because normally people always do talk about, okay, what have they achieved? But going actually in the mind and talking what actually made them achieve that is really, really innovative idea. So I will be stay like, I will be always up and looking for more episodes from your show. And all the best. Let's see how
Thank
does
you.
it go. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Uh, thank all of you. I would like to thank all of you as well for being with us and being patient throughout the conversation. I'm sure there has been a lot of learnings you have taken away, and I would also like to emphasize the reason why we came up with the show, because that's something I also would like to communicate to all of you, because the times are really tough, and a lot of times we see people being on the top, and we feel that that's something I really want to be there. You see a lot of superstars, you see a lot of giants in terms of entrepreneurship, you see a lot of amazing YouTubers and content creators. But I would also like to say that there has been stories of struggle. There has been stories where they felt extremely low, unhappy, frustrated, and we would like to ensure that we bring those stories out. We also bring the concepts where you can see that what are the values which actually ensured that they believed in themselves, which kept them together. And I'm looking forward to have all of you in the upcoming episode. So thank you for being part of us, and see you soon.